Welcome to Maximize Living TV today. Today we're going to be talking about wrists, rehabbing our wrists, right? So another common issue that I see a lot of people coming into my office with, a lot of people in our society with carpal tunnel type issues, so many people at the computer, they have a lot of different issues here. And so clearly, great advice is always to get it checked up, especially if it's a chronic issue or acute issue. Getting it checked up by a chiropractor, physical therapist, orthopedic, right? Just really getting that checked. Possibly x-rays, something along those lines can be helpful. However, these are some great home exercises that you can do to really help benefit your wrists, help prevent injury, and then if you do have chronic wrist issues, wrist problems, these can be highly beneficial. So number one, first thing we're going to do is really stretch our wrists out well. Okay, and one of the best stretches, if I'm working on my right wrist, is just decompressing it, just kind of tractioning it. So I'm taking my left hand and just tractioning that right wrist, helping really open it up, and that works great, right? So I'm just getting in there, helping open it up, and that is a powerful approach, right? So just doing something like that, and I can even do it in a downward mode, kind of like that right there. So just helping open up that wrist, really important, okay? Also, I can do a wrist stretch like this. This is stretching the flexor muscles, so I'm stretching it like that. Good. Now we're going to stretch it like this. Extensor muscles right in here, so we're going to stretch it there. We're also going to stretch it to the side a little bit. Now I'm going to kind of keep my elbow still by putting it against the side of my body. Okay? And then same thing here. So I just take it and I'm pushing against it, stretching it in all those different planes. Very powerful. Those stretches actually help open up the joint, help get healthy fluid, nutrients, oxygen, the things that we need right in there. Okay? Clearly, we always want to make sure we're hydrating very effectively, so lots of clean water, and obviously eating an anti-inflammatory diet, right, is critically important. So keeping that sugar down, grains, more information on the anti-inflammatory diet and lifestyle right on our website. But make sure you're applying those. A great supplement that I like to use for any kind of sports injuries, any kind of just joint pain in general, is right here, Wobenzyme. Very, very powerful. I use this with Olympic athletes, with athletes of all different types. This is the best thing I've found for actually helping reduce inflammation quickly from a supplement form. These are systemic enzymes, and what they do is they actually metabolize all different types of just inflammatory molecules that are in your body. The key with the Wobenzyme is you use it in between meals. Okay, so that means at least an hour or two after you've eaten, or else it'll act as a digestive enzyme. So very important that we're using it between meals, and that reduces the inflammation naturally. So Wobenzyme, great supplement here. Lots and lots of water, hydration, anti-inflammatory lifestyle. And there are a couple key wrist exercises that we can do. One of those is taking a light dumbbell and just kind of resting my arm on something and doing a little bit of a flexion motion, right? It helps really strengthen that area. And I can also do a little extension. You want something light that you can easily do 12 reps on, okay? Just something nice and light. I'll also do this right here, okay, in this motion. And I can actually do this off of the bench and just kind of taking it like this right here. In all those different planes. Really good exercise. I can also decompress my wrist a little bit just doing this right here. Okay, just light rotations, having a weight, kind of traction that joint a little bit with light rotations there. Can be real good, real powerful. Okay? Working my wrist with a tennis ball works wonderful, right? So what I can actually do is a couple things. Number one, just kind of gripping it and relaxing it. Gripping and relaxing. Gripping and relaxing. Okay? And so I can do an exercise where I grip, hold for about 5 to 10 seconds, and relax. Do about 5 reps of those. And then maybe a grip for a second and relax. Grip for a second and relax. And do about 10 reps of those. Both of those exercises just helps strengthen the internal intrinsic muscles, right? That's core, it's actually considered core strength, helps stabilize that joint, right? And actually helps prevent injury. So doing something as simple as that is great. Also, working the joint with just a little bit of a toss, whether I'm tossing it against a wall, right? It's great, or I can even just bounce it right off the ground like this right here. This is wonderful for your wrists. Not only am I getting a good range of motion with my wrist, but I'm also catching with my wrist. Improves my eye-hand coordination, which is key. That actually enhances receptor sites in my wrist, believe it or not. And that neurological, it's actually called neurogenesis. So I actually build more mechanoreceptors and more joint receptors into my wrist, which helps prevent injury, believe it or not. So just doing something as simple as this, right? Basketball players, tennis players, you guys are doing this all the time, right? And so doing something as simple as that can be a very, very powerful approach for my wrist. Last but not least, a couple of different exercises. One of them, this is great if I am doing push-ups and I have sore wrists, okay, doing a simple exercise where I actually take dumbbells. This is actually easier on my wrists than if I had my hands like this. So taking dumbbells, and if I'm going to do push-ups, doing it like this can be a lot easier on my wrists than if I were to put them like this. Now, as you're recovering from your wrist injuries, okay, actually getting them into this push-up position is very strengthening for them. So as you're recovering and they're not giving you as much chronic issues, now we want to really build powerful strength into those wrists and continue to build good proprioception, good movement information. So getting into a plank exercise like this, not only is this good for my core, but it's great for my wrists. And especially if I am challenging it with an unbalanced environment. Very good for my wrists, really good for my rotator cuffs, actually, believe it or not. And then on top of that, I can do exercises where I actually am walking on my wrists, right? Very, very powerful approach. Helps strengthen, create great core strength in my wrists. Again, that's a little bit more advanced, so if you have chronic wrist issues, you want to make sure that you clean up the inflammation first, then you might start doing those floor exercises in order to build more strength and stability into that joint. So that is our wrist rehab session, and I hope you guys enjoy that. Apply those exercises. If you have any questions, you can always email me, and I'll be happy to answer that. So have a great day. God bless you.